Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives episode 19. 19 episodes. It's technically 18 with guests. First one was me telling people I was doing a podcast because I kept talking about it. And I'm approved for all CPD bodies now, the podcast is. So that's good. This podcast is basically to entertain and educate at the same time people within the pest management industry generally, or anyone that's within the pest control field, because it's a very wide space. It is. And this week we have on Mark Porter from Porter's Pest Control, which he's just celebrated his eighth year in business. How are you doing, Mark?
Very well, Shaun. Thank you. It's nice to make an appearance on here. A bit nervous, but I'll give it my best shot.
I'm the little podcast compared to the Beauties and Beasties. You weren't nervous on that?
Well, what can I say? Them boys are legends, but they're doing really well. But as are you. You're starting to pick up momentum now, which is good, and people are following and sharing. So yeah, I thought I'd come on and give the platform a bit of support as well. You know.
Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, it's been good. Oh, I got one already. Good night. We use Mark Porter from PPC Best in South London, his team to go to for sure. Wow, you really have put the word out there. Thank you for watching on YouTube.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, I did. I've offered big payments for people to make nice comments. So yeah, people are starting to cash in already.
Yeah, well, that's on YouTube, that one. So let's obviously go back before you actually got into making your own company. So how did you actually end up in pest management? Was it like you fell into it, or like everyone else, or how was it?
Completely that. So before I got into the pest management world, I was actually in retail, a complete different galaxy. But I was becoming a bit bored with that, and pest control found me, and I found pest control. Really, that's how I look at it. Is we found each other, and it's been the perfect marriage ever since. 21 years later.
Oh, very nice. That is 21 years later. I'm such a noob compared to you. I'm such a noob. You must be paying. Someone else has commented in chat. This is your best tech.
Yeah, so that young man, he's been with me since day one, David, and he's still going strong. I won't mention how young he is, but yeah, he's one of my favorites, if not the favorite.
Fair enough. So how did you actually, what was your first role within pest control? What was it, like a technician job, or what kind of?
So yeah, I mean, I think it's worth shouting out the company that I learnt my skill set from, really. So it all started. It all started at what is no longer, unfortunately, but it was under the Prokill brand. So I used to work for Prokill Limited, and I basically managed to blag an interview with the then owner Dean Spires, because I phoned up. And they weren't actually looking for anyone without experience, and they weren't coming to London until the week after. But I managed to get through to him and basically say, well, look, what have you got to lose by me coming down to have a chat with you? So I went bowling down to Bournemouth, sat in front of him, and basically said, well, at the very least now, you owe me a little bit of a trial. And he took a punt on me, and it was the first time in my life, actually, being a school dropout with no qualifications in any capacity, that I'd found something that really got me and really made my brain tick and really made me want to learn more. And Prokill was purchased by Rent-A-Kill, one of their big acquisitions, and at that time that was a huge acquisition, because Prokill they was one of the first that made the big impact on the franchise side of things. And essentially I've my business model today, as it stands, it's got a lot of formulas that Prokill had, in the sense of the service, the approach, the customer service. So there's a lot of what I learned at Prokill, but with my own twist in between that as well.
Oh, nice. I mean, it is funny in a way. Rent-A-Kill buys another company with a name killing it, Prokill.
Yeah, exactly. And it caused massive ripples, to be honest,
Is it?
because
Oh,
well,
okay.
I think Dean, who's now retired, he won't mind me saying, Rent-A-Kill was a dirty word at Prokill. We wanted to do everything that, we didn't want to be like Rent-A-Kill. We prided ourselves on good customer service, and that's how the Prokill brand grew and still
Yeah.
grows. There are still franchises out there.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I left immediately. I put my notice in and I wasn't hanging around. That's no
That's
disrespect
fair
to
enough.
Rent-A-Kill. I've got no personal beef with Rent-A-Kill, but I had my own vision and my own ways of doing things, and it weren't the Rent-A-Kill way.
That's fair enough because they reckon, I don't know, when I read and hear podcasters, they reckon statistically when a company is acquired, you will lose 50% of the staff because they'll just leave, or
Yeah,
they'll get,
and not only the
or they,
staff, it's also the
yeah,
portfolio, because
yeah,
a large proportion of that portfolio is more often than not joined from some of the big providers out there.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. That is. Welcome, Jasmine. Thanks for popping in. My green screen messed up my wave there, but yeah. Was Prokill the only place you worked for before you went to make your own company? Was it?
No, so the journey behind that, to sort of finish that direct question off is,
Yeah.
so when I left Prokill, I went to what's now known as OCS, is they was formerly known as Servest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
went there for 18 months, because on paper it ticked every single box. The pest control division was interlinked with the cleaning division, the catering division, and everything else. But
Oh, okay.
it was a complete mess. And for the first time in my working life, I actually had a massive personality clash with one of my colleagues, who we just had a massive falling out. He didn't like me, and I actually ended up not liking him as well. So it become quite personal, which was
Okay.
probably the first time I've encountered something like that. But I think ironically he's no longer in the industry. I do keep my eye open.
Oh, yeah. You do. You do keep your eyes on everyone. He said to
Yeah,
me, "I keep my eyes on you. I've been seeing what you've been doing."
exactly. So I was at
Yeah.
Servest for a little while.
Yeah.
I then the guys at Lodi, who I've got to give a massive shout out to, they let me come and do a few months with them.
Yeah.
Tony Knight gave me an opportunity and a bit of a window to sort of see if I could find my feet on the supplier side of things. But then after that, I kind of felt, pest control was my home really.
Yeah.
That's where my passion lied. I mean, it was great talking to other pest controllers trying to sell them products and whatnot, but
Yeah.
that wasn't really where my passion lied. So it was January 2017 that me and my wife decided that we was going to launch Porter's Pest Control Limited, and the rest, they say, is history.
Well, nice. So, obviously, your previous experience, would you say Prokill helped you build your company, or the policies or the way you did business helped you? What you learned there helped you build this company, this family business you run now? Would you say a lot of that came from there? Did you always want to run one, or was it just did it come about? Was it in the back of your mind for a long time, thinking
So
about
when
it?
so when it started, I loved the service side of thing, because I started off as a service consultant. Had a really good portfolio in London. Really liked being ahead of my round and having that rapport. And
Yeah.
I was sort of persuaded to do a couple of days a week in sales.
Okay.
And within the first couple of months, I was competing with the full-time surveyors.
Oh,
So the sales manager at the time, Mr. Dave Morris, big shout out to Dave.
okay.
He asked me to give it a crack full time, and I wasn't really a salesy kind of person. I love pest control. But
Yeah.
what I realized is that I wasn't selling pest control. What I was doing is going to the clients' properties and telling them what their problem was and how it can be solved, and just being truthful and saying, look, my office says to solve that, that's what the cost is going to be. So quite quickly I was picking up the sales techniques, and
Okay.
I was getting reasonable figures, and everyone was happy really. So I had the real great experience of learning and mastering the technical side of things, and then going into the sales side of it and having some real good salespeople beside me to sort of nurture the person that I become. And then I think from there, it really kind of, I went into sales full time, and then I think it was a few years after that's when the acquisition happened. So yeah, I
Okay.
think it was a massive part of what we've become now, because it taught me the absolute fundamentals of business. I've got a mentor, massive shout out to Richard Cole. He's probably been the biggest part of my professional life in pest control.
Nice.
You know, and he still guides me today, you know, and having people like that beside you and sort of pumping you up all the time, and sort of having that, giving you that fear factor when they're phoning you to ask you what you're doing on the month in terms of
Yeah.
your figures, you know, that
Uh,
the respect is still so massive. So yeah, I think even to this day, 8.5 years trading now, you know, I think the momentum that we have and the way that we've grown, I think that comes down to the way I've been taught at Prokill, which you never become complacent.
that's nice. I mean, I'll be honest, the mentorship theme comes up a lot on this podcast. It does. And it seems to be, because I've been asking for a lot more help recently. I mean, the website's the main thing that's got to be done. I keep getting told the website, so I'm looking at doing the website. But mentor, because I've asked you for some tips in the past. I did
Yeah,
try some of them, but I didn't go full throttle into them. I didn't.
yeah.
But I'm trying to go upwards now. I am.
And that's the only way
I
you
am.
got to. That's that, you know, whether it's small little steps or you be a little bit aggressive. I mean, look, I don't portray that I'm perfect, but there's loads of people that I do give bits of advice to, and I enjoy doing that. Because at the same time, I like to think I was in that position before, and I still take feedback and criticism and everything else that comes from people in the industry. So yeah, I think our industry should be more like that. You know, we pass on help and tips and advice and support to each other as and where we can.
Well, honestly, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, because I wasn't very vocal until a couple of years ago. I appeared out of nowhere, but kind of. I didn't say anything because it used to be that a lot of the pest control groups, in my opinion, you know, when you ask for advice, you get laughed at. You get, oh, you should know this. You're a pest controller. But now it seems to be everyone's willing to give advice without mocking people, which
Yeah,
is great.
I mean, I can give a bit of an insight to that because I'm actually one of the admin moderators on the British Pest Control Group.
Yeah,
One of a few of us on there, and I think we spend a lot of time as moderators speaking to one another, observing posts and observing questions, and you know, we do discuss and we do keep a close eye on that, because at the end of the day, everyone, myself included, you know, we're not experts in every single field of our industry, so
true.
I think there is that level of understanding that, you know, if someone's genuinely asking a question that they need help with and support, and they're being torn a new one, which I've had it happen to me, I think really it's just a case of just reminding people, look, come on guys, we've all been here before. So yeah, I'd like to think as well there's been a bit of a turnaround, particularly on some of the more established groups now that are regularly being used for sort of tips and advice really.
Yeah, I've noticed a big change. I'm going back a few years. It used to be like, say you'd show your boxes and you hadn't labelled them up yet. Oh, well, you've not labelled them up. Well, they're
It still
not out
happens.
ready. Yeah.
That still happens. But yeah, I think the aggression side of that is definitely, I think a lot more people are a bit more aware now. It's like, oh, come on, mate, like you don't know the full story, and how do you know that? You know, there's always these factors into it. And I think people are getting a little bit more savvy themselves before posting that kind of thing. They're
Well,
probably just being a little bit more aware of that. You know, they could it could actually turn on them.
yeah, because I speak to a lot of people, but what bugs me is when I see company. I'm not saying names of companies, but I see them on LinkedIn and all over the place taking photographs on site surveys of. They don't name the companies, but you never know the full story, do you?
No,
Say that
exactly.
client probably hasn't had or hasn't paid the bill, or the pest control not had it in 8 months or a long time, and they're saying, "Oh, this I had this pest control company, they're not very good." We don't always know the full story, do you? And that's a
No,
lot of the problem. I don't think it
that
does
would
our industry any good to put them pictures online as an advert for your business. I don't.
no,
That's my
100%.
opinion. That is,
No, hundred
but
percent.
but it's something I post online, and every so often I get fed up with it, and I make a post, politically correct post, obviously, but my opinion. Thanks, Jason McAfee, for joining. Ask Pest Control, and Jason says, "You help me, pal, with a bedbug advice. You're my go-to bedbug man." Jason McPhee. That's it.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, we're. I'd like to think we're quite renowned now for our bedbug work. We've done some huge projects. We've gone viral with a lot of the jobs that we've done.
I'd love your numbers. I would. You went proper viral.
Yeah, I mean that kind of that kind of escalated, and off the back of that, we've had some fantastic projects. We've ended up working for local authorities outside of London. We've had
Nice.
jobs past. We've got a lovely company, Atlas Environmental, up in Manchester, I believe they are. They've been really good. So shout out to Jacob and his team. They've been really supportive.
Nice.
They've put us onto a very large project in London, and it all stems from really trying to portray yourself as understanding the enemy that you're dealing with and actually having fun whilst you're dealing with it, because then people can see where your passion lies. And I do like it when people come to me, because I always say, look, I'm not saying this is the way to do it, but we have great success in doing it this way.
Well, you seem to. You're also quite good at making content. You are.
Yeah, I mean,
you understand how to make it, because in pest control, a lot of people don't understand how to make good content, and you do. Because I watch. I do.
It has come with making mistakes along the way, Shaun, if I'm being honest, because again, I think you got to take on board the constructive criticism. I've had people private message me about certain things, or even publicly sometimes pull me up on something, and I think sometimes you actually have to think, well, if that person took the time to make a comment about it, rather than me being down about it, actually draw something from it and think, all right, maybe next time I'll do it in a different way. So there's been a lot of deep thinking on my part, which has really allowed me to really push my content out there with me and my team when we're out there having fun, because that's the key thing, we're having fun.
It does look that way. There was that one where you made it's like there was one of your videos I loved it. It was bed bugs, and
in East London.
You said catastrophic, and it was the way it was done. It was like a film. It was like you were on the crime scene. I loved it. That one.
Yeah. I mean, and that one. I mean, I had all but two of the whole team on that, and that was monstrous. That was probably up there with Infested, which if you go on YouTube, you'll see it. Bedbug infestation. We went viral all over that. We was all over the States. We had an invitation to go to America, but unfortunately that didn't materialize. But
what, for a bedbug job, or was it just
to do a seminar on it, and just to do a lot of speaking, because we do have quite a unique approach to our bedbug work. So, but yeah, like I say, it's nice. It's nice to have an established name in the industry. Not everyone likes us, and of course not everyone is going to like you, but I'd like to think that we're held in pretty much good regard amongst our fellow peers up and down the country.
Well, I feel you are, but as you say, there is obviously pest controllers that are a bit old school and they don't like anyone doing better than themselves, so they see it as that way. But the industry is changing. I think it's really nice your mum's watching. Cheers.
Oh, your mum?
No,
sorry, I'm just talking. Oh, it might be my mother-in-law. Hold on, I'm just looking at my wife as if to say, who's watching? Is it Dawn?
Yep, it's Dawn. She's hi, son.
Oh yeah, that's my mother-in-law. Big shout out to my mother-in-law.
That's really nice that watching. That is.
Yeah, and I think really that's the USP about Porter's Pest Control. Is that we're a genuine family-run company. It's myself and my wife over here, Holly. It's Jamie, my son, Amy, my sister-in-law, Dawn, my mother-in-law, Siobhan, my PA, who's known me since I was 8 years old. Dave's, so we are very, very, very close knit. And they all know what my visions and expectations are, and I think that's what makes it work, really.
It will do, because if you've obviously got a vision and you know what you want to achieve, then everyone else is on the same page. Because obviously they want to achieve it as well. They do. I've never had so many people in my chat, mate. I'm telling you. Honestly, it's so cool. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
What would you say is the origin story of Porter's Pest Control then? If you go back to when you first started it, because I bet there were early days where it was just yourself, wasn't it, when you first started?
Yeah, so I started it where I was out on my own. I went out and bought a little black Ford Fiesta, which is still with us.
Okay.
That's got the registration number Pest Mad. Because for those of you that know me, I've got a quite an array of private plates for the vehicles as well, which I'm quite proud of. And that one was Pest Mad, and I sort of set it up from there, and I went out on my merry way, and I just didn't take no for an answer. You know, I promised my wife that I was going to make something of myself, and you know, I did it. You know, because I didn't want to let her down, I didn't want to let myself down, and people that were supporting me. So I think that was the real driving force. And within that first year, actually, that's when we picked up the massive bedbug job that really sort of put us out there. You know, because it was the biggest job that I'd ever sold as trading as porters. It was it wasn't hard selling it because I knew how to solve it, you know, really. And the client snapped my hand off, and I'll never forget, because we sent the quote at the end of November. So that was probably the best Christmas for us, because it not only was it nice financially, but it was just nice to sort of think that, right, we can sell work like this and actually give people the confidence that the small companies can actually deliver.
Exactly, because obviously you think of your national companies as the ones that get the big jobs, but for a small business, family business, to get a job like, obviously that was quite a big job. It's quite good, isn't it? Because normally as small companies only get little jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always been a believer, and I've always been taught from my very early days, it doesn't matter what you're selling. If people don't believe in you or they don't take to you, it doesn't matter. People buy people. And that's something I always tell my team now, is regardless whether we're going to do a service inspection or a call out or a survey, that person has to invest in you as a person. They have to see that you're genuinely interested and that you genuinely care. And I think that's really what makes us sort of deliver each time, because we take the time and the effort to make sure that our clients are happy.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That is. With how was it when you first took on? Because I hear a lot of story. How was it when you took on your first member of staff? Because I hear about all the stress, and you have to, like, a lot of people feel like there's weight on their shoulders because now they've got to support someone else's family. What did that feel like when you first took someone on?
I'll be honest, I loved it.
Oh, you loved it? Okay.
I loved it because, I mean, we just this month, we went up to 10 staff members now, which was, you know, that was quite an emotional time for me and my wife, because like you say, at the start of every morning, I know that I've got nine families and dependents and different demands that I need to make sure that I can support my team. And I've always said there's no better drive about not wanting to fail than the fear of failing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very philosophical with things like that. I always listen to sort of motivational podcasts and stuff like that. So I'm forever pushing myself and wanting to involve myself as a person and as a boss, you know, because I never really saw myself as a boss, which my team will tell you. I never tell anyone that I'm a boss, because for me, I'm only as good as my team. So we genuinely do work as a team. No one works for me. We all work together. And I think that's one of the key points with my company, is that we are genuinely a team. We succeed and we fail together.
That's good, because that's how you learn and grow as technicians, as people. But it's what's it called? So you are still on the tools, aren't you?
I pick and choose. So my main role on a daily basis now is I'm sort of spearhead the survey side of things.
Okay.
I also look after our key account clients. So we've got quite a vast size portfolio in the sense of what we look after. We do
roughly how many? You don't have to say the exact amount. Just over 200.
We're probably north of 300 at the minute
Wow.
of sort of
Well,
contracted clients each month.
well done. Well done. That's
Um,
good.
and
That
and
is.
it's a nice array. You know, we look after golf clubs, we do leisure centres. We specialise in block management. That's my forte. So we look after blocks,
Okay.
skyscrapers, and large developments all across London. Um,
Okay.
and we've recently won a massive regional contract as well, where we're looking after 24 garden centres up and down the country.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So
That's
that was our
that's
latest coup.
yeah. Well done. Yeah. You probably
Thank you.
took it off some national,
I did actually. I did, yeah.
but well
I
done.
did.
That's a massive feat for a small family business. Well done. That
Thank
is.
you. And
Yeah.
it does make me proud, you know, because from where we've come from, and it all started with a dream, and sort of I've never ever forgotten who I am and where I've started. And I think that's where a lot of people, they can become a little bit cocksure of themselves. And people
Yeah.
that have known me for as long as they have, they know that I'll never ever lose the passion that I've got for what I do, and I'll never forget the people that have helped me get to where I've got, you know. And that's where I will always stay grounded. The people that know me really well will probably be screaming at the screen saying, yeah, but he likes to hire Lamborghinis every weekend and stuff like that. But we all need a release, you know, and that
Yeah.
is the end game. To get the green Lamborghini with the van would be an absolute pleasure. But
Yeah.
bringing it back to more seriousness, it's, you know, it's never forgetting who I am, and how I've got to where I've got to.
It's good. It's good because you've worked hard to get where you are, and Adam Edwards has just put well done, well deserved, mate. Thanks for watching, Adam.
Yeah, I like, he's good. He's a good pal, Adam. We always talk to each other about different bits and pieces. And again, you know, Adam's someone that reaches out to me and vice versa,
Yeah.
and it's nice, you know. It's nice to be able to sort of try and give people your perspective on things, and angles and ideas and suggestions. They're not always bound to be right, but at least you give people food for thought.
Exactly. I speak to Adam quite regularly, nearly daily. I do. So I didn't know you talked to Mark as well, but you're cheating on me.
I was just going to say the same thing.
But yeah, no, that's. I tell you, I'm well impressed with you. A national chain. Have you got any down mine near Leicester?
No, so at the minute, how high up do we go? Just sort of just up to about Harrow. So the furthest we go up is Harrow for the garden centres, and as
Yeah.
far down we go down to Winnersh near Bournemouth.
Oh, okay. I've got to say, if you're ever there in my area one day, I'll meet up with you. If you're not.
Listen, I'm sure we'll be going up that way soon enough, buddy.
Well, if you're going past Tech this year, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Me and the team will be there. We always take an entourage with us down
I'll
to
be there
Pest.
all day because, as you know, I'm on the board. I'm on the board and on the Pest Tech committee, so I will
Yeah,
be
well
there.
done on that.
Be there for 2 days. I will. Cheers
Yeah,
for that.
we'll definitely be there. We like to network with different people. I think personally you're one of two people in this industry. You're either all about yourself and what you do, and you don't give a damn about anyone else, or like what you just said, we both speak to Adam, we both speak to Kieran
Yeah,
Sampler. You know,
yeah, we do.
you make contacts with people that, you know, one day you never know, you know, just whether you might need that person, or more importantly, just have that friendship group. And I think that's what I've liked doing, is establishing a wide network of fellow people that have the same passion and enthusiasm as me. And I think it just makes the job a bit easier. I pass referrals up and down all the time, and you know, we're getting referrals passed to us, and I think that's how it should be, especially amongst us smaller companies.
That's nice. That is. Yeah, he's helped you. He's saying, "Help me loads from a business sense," and it's greatly appreciated, mate.
Oh
He's
no,
put.
it's all good. It's all good.
So obviously, I'm guessing that you built this portfolio up because you've. Is it you going out and seeing clients and talking to them? Do you?
Yeah.
How did you go about that? Is it all in person? Is it email? Is it face to face?
So
How
yeah,
did you?
it's all in person. But when
Yeah,
I going back to the Prokill thing, when I
yeah,
left when I was leaving Prokill, as you can appreciate, going back
yeah,
to the very point about people buying people,
yeah,
um, it was pretty quickly getting out there that Prokill had been purchased by Rentokil, and I made it clear that I was leaving. So quite cheekily, I stayed in touch with a lot of these people. I had their contact details. And once I knew my non-compete clause was up, I utilized it. I stayed in touch with people, and because I was solving problems quite successfully when I was at Prokill, without being big-headed, it was a no-brainer for those people to come across to me when I started my own company. I knew what they was paying, and I knew what they was expecting. So it would be a lie for me to say that I didn't have a massive helping hand with my past life at Prokill, but you it's not some. I read a thingy before about it's not about having good luck, it's how you use that good luck that really matters, and that's what we
Exactly.
did. We maximized on that. I mean, one of my block management clients that we do a lot of work with, I think we're up to north of 150 sites with these guys now, them alone.
Wow. It's
and that and
incredible.
that and that's and we still continue to get work from them because it's all based on trust. It's like, we've got this site, this is the problem, can you please go and sort it out and invoice us? And trust is the biggest element for me.
So with these blocks you do, is
Yeah,
it like a monthly service or is it
exactly
like
that.
it is that? Okay.
Yeah, so we
So
do all the common parts. So essentially it's the car parks, service rooms, boiler rooms, plant rooms, lift motor
oh,
rooms, tank rooms. And then
okay.
where we bolt on a lot of added services is we can do some bin store cleaning as well.
Okay.
We do fly maintenance. I mean, my fly maintenance service has gone through the absolute roof in the past 18 months. Big shout
Nice.
out to Dave Haskins at Bauer Products on that, because he come to our office and did some training on fly units and selling
Yeah.
of fly units. And we did an internal competition with the team about who could upsell the most fly units. So it's just keeping things relative and relative and relevant.
No, that's nice. That is. I mean, yeah. Yeah. You're small business, but you sound big time to me. You do.
I want to be big time. Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's the I always revert it back to the sense that I'm on paper, I'm uninvestable. I'm unemployable, and it's funny because I saw a company that I actually applied for an operations management role before years ago, absolute
Yeah.
years ago, and they turned me down, and they practically laughed at me. And quite recently, they actually commented in one of my posts, like saying congratulations and whatnot. And I thought, God, I'm kind of hoping that they feel that they missed a big opportunity there with me. So it's almost a little bit like
Full
almost like a
circle.
bit, yeah, full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just a drive. I've come from absolutely nothing. I've built this company with just pure determination. We've got no external investors in our company. It's myself and my wife that own it fully. So we've had multiple offerings in the early years, which I'm glad now that we declined that opportunity, because we never
Good.
really needed them. We never really needed the financial backing. It was really just people with the business acumen that we felt we might have needed. But we've
Yeah.
just sort of found our way along. We've done everything together, and she's sitting here with me now. I'm hoping to get her on in a second, just so she can at least be acknowledged, because she's been a massive, massive part of our growth.
It's really good to hear because I'd love my missus to work in our business eventually when I take over the reins. So yeah, it's really nice. It is. If anyone's got any questions in chat they want to ask as well, I can always mention them. But I love to see it. It's a successful family business, and you say the early days of acquisitions. I bet recently you've had people try to buy you again.
Yeah,
Everyone
well,
has.
fun. I bumped into Colin Harrison, who I love. Colin. I
Oh,
remember I go way back with Colin, and
good bloke.
I know he's got his eye out there now on companies, but he gave me some really sound advice actually. And he sort of said, we've had an eye on you, but we both agreed. I'm only 40 years old. I only turned 40 recently, so I'd like to think I've got another 10, 15 years before I can sit down with the wife and say, look, do you want me home a little bit more? Because we've had a really good offer on the table.
Well, depends if you want to pass it down to your son or anything. Is
Yeah,
that the plan?
exactly.
Or do you
Um, I'd like. I mean, do you know what? I'd be a liar if I sat here and said that I wouldn't turn down like a really, really appealing offer. But I think at the minute we're having so much fun, and without sounding big-headed, we're really sort of turning heads where we need to be. Holly is the real boss. I just seen that comment, Siobhan. So yeah, I think, I keep reverting back to it. We are having so much fun. I mean, we're running a business. A lot of people didn't think we was going to get past a year, let alone 8 years. So I think the fact is we're building momentum. We're getting huge clients on board, and we're making really good, solid connections with fellow pest controllers up and down the country. So we're someone now that people can turn to in London with an established reputation, and
Yeah,
they know that they can get us to do what's needed. They know that we ain't going to fail. We're going to get the job done.
that's what that's exactly what you want. It's it's good to hear. And Adam's saying the same. I wouldn't be where I am, my missus. Same with me. The way I am now, I used to work in the factory. I used to be shy and everything, and I
Now look at you.
turn my life around, and look at me now.
Yeah, and
It's changed for the better. I think my kids like it more, because I used to be very quiet, or used to work in a factory, and that was it. And now they're quite proud of me now.
yeah, and so they should be.
For what I've done.
I mean, I've always been bloody loud. I can't. I don't have an off button. But again, I think that's what's created the personality. People really like my passion and enthusiasm, and I think that's the best advice that I can give to anyone that's sort of really thinking about what they can do to scale their business. I think it's be real. You're not, don't go out there wanting to try and sell someone something. You've got to have that passion in wanting to solve a problem, because if they see that passion that you're actually wanting them to solve a problem, then they see that. I mean, we've sort of been on the bandwagon from the very early stages of using motion cameras for remote monitoring.
Yeah, I love that. How did that
and
come about with the RioLink?
That come about by a really good friend of mine, Robert Stannard of Kent Pest Services, who I actually got to meet through when I was the sales rep at Lodi UK. So I only met him when I was trying to sell him products, and we've been really close friends ever since. We've been really close, and he told me about RioLink, and I sort of really jumped on it, and I used it as a bit of an experiment with some of my clientele. And I was maximizing an opportunity with it, and we sell it at an absolute premium, because in London especially you can get away with that, but it's not trying to do one without the other. We're selling it at a premium, but we're offering a premium service as well, which a lot of my local competitors, it's about knowing what your competitors around you aren't doing. I know what they are doing, and that's where I've always been quite switched on in keeping my eye on the game around me, and knowing how I can keep evolving our business. I mean, we've got drones, we do drone surveys and things like that as well.
I've seen that.
So we're constantly investing. We've got 2 mopeds on the road now, so I'm never becoming complacent and letting anyone try and get, in my mind, I'm not letting anyone try and get near me, because no sooner they try and do what we've done, we're then moving on to the next thing already.
You're very, very fast thinking. You are forward thinking.
Yes, I try, and it don't always work. I don't. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm an absolute legend in the game, but I'd like to think that we are building a name for ourselves, and that's what drives me. If we fail flat on our face, at least my attitude would be that we tried, but we're out there, and we're picking up pace.
Yeah, with the mopeds, what do they do on the mopeds? Because you can't fit much on a moped to do with pest control. What do they do? Just like surveys and like monitoring.
No, so generally speaking, we use the mopeds for emergency call outs. We're able to offer them a unique call out time, because some of our clients, we deal with Michelin star restaurants, we deal with leisure centres, we deal with theatres, etc. So the SLAs that we have on some of our portfolios makes us quite unique, where we can guarantee a same day attendance.
Okay, well that's good. That is okay.
And within London, anyone that's been to London and operates in London, sometimes it's just a lot easier. But to answer your question directly, where what they're carrying is concerned, we try to be quite strategic because the guys do carry a Fat Max bag as well, so they're
Okay.
able to get the snap traps in there, the redenter sides,
Oh,
and bits that will perhaps at least get a holding treatment in place if a holding treatment's needed, or we need to just get some tracking dust down or some tracking gel down or some remote cameras. We're at least able to do that and sort of give that client peace of mind. And again, it's almost being able to give that peace of mind immediately before we get the decision makers sort of purchase order. It's just giving that, again, it's just trying to stay ahead of the game.
it's good. It's good. Anyone realise what I keep doing? I'm sweating. I've got a towel. It's really hot. You know, I'm surprised you're not sweating.
We've just took 5 fans down from our loft and they're all in the kids' rooms, and me and my wife are sitting here. We're both sweating, thinking, I think you might need to go and get the actual fan in a minute, Holly.
So, what's it like working with your son? Do you argue? But that's what I want to know. Do you argue at times?
We do. And I mean, the good thing with me is that everyone knows and can see that mine and Jamie's relationship is super special because he's my eldest son, and he's been coming out to work with me since the age of on and off, sort of like 10 years old, you know, coming out with me at weekends and seeing what I'm up to. And he has the highest pressure on him because he is my son. It goes one of two ways. I've worked in businesses where the son gets away with absolutely everything. The son is absolutely useless, but you can't say nothing to that son because he's the boss's son. Whereas I've been the complete opposite with Jamie. Jamie's almost like the flagship of the levels that I expect. But he's thrived on that because Jamie runs his own business outside of our work with his boxing. He runs a boxing school. He teaches children with special needs, and he works with sort of children that have perhaps fallen down the wrong path in life and are looking for some sort of escape. So he does that on the side, and he's a successful boxer himself. So yeah, I think that works, you know, because we bounce off of each other personality wise, and he's very driven like me. So, and he's very passionate about pest control as well. So I think it's easy.
Because that's what I wanted to ask you. Because I'm sure when I listened to Beauties and Beasties, you wasn't sure if he was going to stay in pest control. Is he going to stay in pest control for the time being?
Yeah, definitely for now. I think because you know we're able to offer him a stable income, and in the sense that it's in full-time employment. So you know he's 21 now. He's soon enough going to want to be leaving home and getting a property for himself. So at the minute he's been working from a young age in full-time employment. He's doing his boxing on the side. So I'm just giving him a platform. I mean, it's always in the back of my mind that we might be sitting down one day to have that chat where he might want to exit the business, and you know I'll do nothing but support him. I'll be heartbroken, but you know, for what he's given me in the time that he's been with me and the memories that we've made and the partnerships that we've built, I can't be nothing but prouder, really. But I think it's been a big key. I think it's been a big key is that we work together all the time. He's with me today, actually, because I think he knew that lunch was on the horizon.
What, you were paying?
Yeah. We have this mental note. We know whose round it is.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But no, it's nice to hear that you like. I mean, I like working with my dad, but yeah, at times you can argue. I sometimes win, like I'm right, not all the time, but so where are we? So like with the business, you obviously wait. Do you do any of this? Because I'm doing a trial with Sygenta at the minute with 24-hour monitoring. Now, I know you do the RioLinks. Do you do any of them boxes where if you get activations, they get sent straight to your phone or tablet? Do you use any of them systems?
So
bar the RioLinks.
So everything's directly with RioLink.
Okay.
And that's generally we do RioLink on our squirrel treatments and our rat treatments essentially. I'm talking domestically. We can offer that for some of our commercial clients. We've got some clients commercially that pay us for a number of cameras in their premises constantly, and it's the same emphasis of what you're saying with it monitors and it alerts you, but we just primarily use a RioLink.
I mean, yeah, because although it's good. The man there, here we go.
That's my boy.
I see him. But no, that's it's good to hear me. I'm obviously doing the Sargenta trial because I shouted my mouth off on LinkedIn saying, yeah, they're saying for small businesses. Next thing, their MPTA is asking me if I want to do a trial with Syngenta. So
But
that's
again,
how I got it.
I think it goes back to the point that you said earlier. It's having that confidence. If you grow in confidence and you're able to sort of put your head above the parapet, whether it's good or
Yeah.
bad, people are going to notice you. And I think that's where businesses that fail, I think they fail because they don't take that leap of faith. I speak to people all the time that, they're absolutely frightened out their life to take on their first employee or to take on the second employee. I never imagined that we'd get up to the size that we are, but I always looked at it. My whole attitude was, do you know what? At least I can put my head up high and say, do you know what? We bloody tried, and that's what drives me is thinking, well, I'm at least going to try, because what's the point if you don't try? What is the point?
Exactly. Your son's just said something incredible. That's amazing, mate. You could carry on and graft it. That is amazing. That is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that I've not really spoken about too much. But yeah, I mean, he has raised a point there. I lost two key people in my life 6 months apart. My brother and then my dad went 6 months, 4 days before my 21st birthday. So I think when I do dig down deep and people that are really, really close to me, they will say that was probably the biggest driving force to me being the person I am today. And it is, but I just, without Jamie meant raising it, which I don't have a problem with. It's just something that I don't really sort of delve into. But yeah, fundamentally that's why I am the person that I am today, because I was dealt so many two massive cards that really could have crushed a lot of people, but it actually did the opposite to me.
That's no, it's I honestly love it. I do that you've managed to keep on track in hard times, and you've been driving forward. It's yeah, I think it's amazing. That is,
Yeah, thank
it's
you.
it truly is. But I'll have to try and get Jamie on at some point by himself when he's free. See if he'll come on and have a little chat. You never
Yeah, it
know.
seems it's obviously he's out of the gym now, but no, I think
Yeah.
and Jamie's great to speak to. He's got such a way for someone of such a young age, on paper 21. He's so mature and beyond his years. So I think it'd be great to get him on, and you can talk to him independently from a young person's perspective in the industry,
Yeah.
and how he, because I think really I look at our company and statistically, I've got a lot of young people that work with us.
Yeah.
I've got a 19-year-old, I've got a 21-year-old, a
Okay.
22-year-old, so 28-year-old. So we've got the maturer generation, such as lovely Dave, who
Yeah.
commented earlier.
He
But I
did.
think
Yeah.
I think that's what our industry's screaming out for, is the young blood coming through and taking it seriously, and actually looking at public health, which is the sector that we actually represent, as something to consider. And I think that's what we've been lacking. And I've just been really um, a big advocate of trying to get youngsters in, even on work experience, of doing that. And that's something I've really pushed for.
It's something that with the MPTA we are trying to push forward. Like we've had our MPTA where we fund and Syngenta deal where they fund 5 young people's RSPH Level 2 in Pest Management Award. And that went well, and they've just launched another one. So we're always looking for ways to try and it's ways of how do you get into the colleges, things
Yeah,
like how do you get into
yeah,
there, because
exactly.
you need them to recommend. Oh, pest management is a career. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And they currently, as far as I know, they
There's
don't do
nothing.
it.
No,
They
there's
don't do
nothing.
that.
But I think secondly to that, Sean, is that
Yeah,
I've with everyone that I've taken on,
yeah,
I've always said this. I've always said, look, I can teach you about pest management. There's just one thing that you need to have that I can't teach, and that is to have the right attitude. And I've said that to all of them. I can't teach you to want to get up in the morning and want to go out there, wind, rain or shine, and actually have that attitude to sort of look at our clients and say, we've got you. But I'm genuinely so lucky that my guys, they know that our customers' happiness is the absolute utmost, is that what matters. And I think the fact that they get the time and the resources and the materials and everything that they need to do that, I think that's why we've done well, because they know that I'll support them in making sure that we get the job done. And that's not a sales pitch. It's just that's
Yeah,
what's allowed our growth. That's the secret to our success. Is we've just put whatever we need into place to get those results.
that's good to hear. That is. Sean Mooney's just come in chat.
Evening, Sean.
Enjoy. Thanks, Kimberly, for popping on.
Oh wow,
And
from the US. Thank you, Kimberly.
US. I missed one earlier, I think. I'm on the podcast. Come on. Come on. Sorry. The kids have came in.
I've had to turn my camera around because just over there is my step. I've had 2 daughters come down already, and Mum's had to shoo them away. So yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh, go on. Okay, get to me. Where are you going? Where? Well, whose tablet? Get it in. Right, sorry about that.
No, it's
That's
fine.
the first time it's ever happened.
Well, look, there's a first time for everything. I'm not complaining. I'm a family man, so all my children are tied up or sedated now.
Thanks for tuning in, Kieran's Casper as well.
Yeah, big shout out to Kieran.
Yeah, Beauties and Beasties beat me to getting him on. I didn't think they were going to beat me, but they've beat me to it. I've got him on Friday.
I'll be tuning in for that as well. But then I think you've got him as well, though, haven't you?
I haven't booked him in yet. It's going to be like a special. One week I'm going to do one on Thursday.
Yeah,
because I'm booked up till mid-October, believe it or not.
No, well, I know. We was doing a bit of negotiating, wasn't we, before I went away on holiday in the summer?
Yeah, because you said it depends if the football's still on and they're in the league or the cup, was it?
Yeah, I was a bit I was just thinking that Arsenal might have won the Champions League. That's a whole different story.
Oh, okay. DP New Mexico, thanks for popping in. Don't know what's going on. Algorithm's getting pushed. Mark Porter's on. And everyone's coming on. Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for that.
That's nice. So say you were to give anyone starting like a business, pest control, any advice to like growing or trying or put yourself out there, what would you say to them? What would be a good idea?
Don't sell your soul. What we offer is a specialized service. If you don't have if you can't believe in yourself that what you're going to do is going to make a difference, then now's the client going to believe in that. You'd be stunned how many projects we walk away from, because at the end of the day, people are paying for my expertise and know-how, not my time. It's amazing how many people ask, how much would you charge for this? It's not about that. It's about what that value is worth. Okay. And I think people out there need to really research into what is value and what is value worth to someone. Value is more than money. It's not what you're willing to pay. It's what is it valued to you at. Okay. So if anyone's a bit sort of twisted by that, I think at the end, if you can't convince your client that what you're offering is going to be the best value for them, then that's where your struggles are going to start. If you're selling value without selling value, then you're going to be on your merry way.
That's great advice, because I've obviously trying to expand more to get more commercial, and I've got to offer the value and do it the proper way, because and it's an area I've got to learn, to be honest. It really is.
And I think you just need to keep your ears and your eyes open. I mean, I've always been known as being quite vocal, and that's why I'm one of the admin and moderators on the British Pest Control Group as well. But at the same time, I'm never afraid to say, hey guys, like, can I have some advice on this? And I think don't be frightened to ask questions, because it's better to ask 10 questions than to not ask and get something badly wrong, because you can fall quicker than you build in this industry and get a really bad name for yourself. So, make friends, get to know who your local I'm surrounded by competitors, but most of them I get on with. We don't interfere with each other. We all know what our um we all know what our selling points are, and I don't slag off my local competition, with the exception of maybe a couple. But that's, that's due to the fact that they just don't like what we do, because we're doing all right. But on the whole, I've got a lot of the respect from our competitors, and we help a lot of them out where we can as well. So I think it's, don't make yourself an enemy by those around you, because at the end of the day, it's better to be liked than loathed.
Exactly that. I mean, I know pretty much all of the pest controllers in my area, and we get on all right. If we see each other out on the road, we
Yeah, you wave
pull
your
over.
bib.
Well, sometimes pull over and have a chat. Sometimes
Yeah,
we do.
exactly. And,
So
and I think that's how it should be. There's enough work out there for everyone. And I think, like I said, I think it's creating an image of yourself for yourself.
Oh, I've definitely done that in recent times.
Yeah, and that's
Or
what's
tried to.
important.
I
And that's
have.
what's important. So yeah, that's the only advice I can give really, is just, you got to have faith in what you're doing, and you got to believe in what you're doing, because at the end of the day, if you're going in really cheap, that's not believing in yourself. That's you're disbelieving in yourself. You've got to be able to. I've had people that fall over with some of the prices that we charge our clients, but at the end of the day, we get the results. And a lot of
Exactly.
the time, if it's getting the results, then it's money well spent for our clients.
Oh, it definitely is. But sadly, a lot of what gets me is when, like, I've done work really. They show you around. They're fine. And a couple of businesses I've tried to get. Obviously, I'm not saying a name, but they have a national. And I thought we offered more value in that one and then they didn't. What gets me is they never actually give you feedback or anything. You get nothing unless you get it. It bugs
Yeah.
me, but it's never going to change, is it? It's
Well,
not.
I mean, I'm not gonna preach to you. I mean, you're doing all right. You're building, so I'm not preaching to you
No.
how to do it. But I think that's where the real the selling techniques really evolves around
Yeah.
what their needs are. Really understanding the client needs, because I've been around people where they go on site. Yeah, we can do these metal boxes. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can do. Whereas it's a case of, what are your concerns? What is it you're looking for? What do you need? Do you want someone that's purely dedicated to your site, or do you want it two free? I've won massive contracts because the one problem that facilities manager's got is he's fed up of someone different every time turning up at his site, and he's getting pulled away. So I've won a contract before purely on the basis of saying, so if I gave you one dedicated technician and with one in reserve that knew your site inside out, he said, I'd give you the contract.
Tell you
So
what,
again,
that is
that's
eye
going back
opening.
that's going back to, rather than turning up on the site and doing anything, what's your biggest problem? What are you looking for? What do you need from a service provider? And that client was a huge customer, what is now a huge customer, because he couldn't believe that my opening question was, what are you looking for? What do you want? What do you want? And he actually
Yeah.
said, he said,
Oh,
he said, I want someone that can turn up every month, that knows where the site is, that knows where the boxes are. I said, what if I gave you two people? I'll give you one dedicated tech, and I'll bring in another one in reserve on the same day that we set up. So God forbid anything happens, they'll know the site.
that's great. I'll be honest, that's great advice for myself. I'm going to try that next time.
So
I'm going to
again,
try.
Shaun,
I'll try that. I will.
it's just trying to sound like you say. If you don't get feedback at times, I'm not saying you on a personal level, but sometimes it might be because we've not asked the right questions. It might be that we've gone in and trying to do X, Y, and Z, whereas what they've wanted us to establish is what their needs actually are. We might want someone that's able to come at weekends. We might want someone that comes with a need. If we ain't asking those questions specifically, what are you looking for? What is gonna make me a maximum appeal to you?
Okay.
It gives food for thought,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it does. It definitely does. It is. It is food for thought.
And I've
Yeah,
been there.
I'll
I've
be
been,
writing these down. I will. Yeah,
I've
definitely.
been there where I've gone in and I've walked away and I'm thinking, ouch, like I've really overdone that, because I'm telling them how good, not so much how good we are, but we can do this and we do that. But over recent years, my opening questions have been, look, What do you need? What is it that you're looking for? What's making you want to change? What aren't you getting what you needed, or what's being failed and what you agreed? And people will open up and tell you that, because we're all quick to sort of want to open up and say what's making us unhappy at times, especially as
Absolutely.
as a potential client. Well, they turn up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or, well, I normally get John, but I've not been having John turn up. So by listening to those needs and homing in on those needs, if
Yeah.
you're able to give clear and precise answers to those problems straight away, you're at the forefront of their mindset.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's really good. That's really good advice, because we've got one site where they love us to turn up at like 9:30, because basically the guard people work on the gardens and that, they have their meeting at 9:30, and
Yeah,
and that's when they turn up. And he says, because they're not bothered when in the month, but as long as I turn up in time for their meeting.
exactly.
And
And
that's what he said. That's what he said. He said, I want someone to turn up at half nine, roughly when they're having the tea
yeah,
break, basically.
yeah.
And that's what I do every time with that one. I do.
So yeah,
So
I think really that's it. It's just understanding and doing a bit of research on your customers. Doing,
okay,
you ain't got to go too crazy, but just going in and sort of saying, "Oh, I see, you've recently opened up a new branch in Bayswater. How's that going?" Just taking a general interest in that brand and knowing a little bit about them, doing a little bit of research. Sometimes it's really good. Even when I've done cold calling before, I've managed to
yeah,
bypass the receptionist, because I'm saying, "Oh, is John in this morning? Oh, is he expecting you?" I said, "Well, he said for me to pop in." You blag it a little bit, but you're
okay.
bypassing someone who would otherwise show you the door because you've got a name.
Yeah. LinkedIn's quite powerful as well. You can get names off there usually.
Oh,
You say
I mean, I don't use LinkedIn as nowhere near as much as I do my other socials, but I tell you this, I've managed to find out who's who through LinkedIn, and I've managed to break down doors that would otherwise have been firmly shut in my face, because I'm going direct to these people.
that's
I
also good
do
advice.
feel
That is.
I do feel LinkedIn's become very Facebooky, unfortunately, but at the same time, it is there as a good tool to find out who's who within the organizations.
It is true, because it has made LinkedIn bigger by being more Facebooky. Because I post my gym pictures and all sorts on there.
Yeah,
I do,
yeah, no, I've seen.
but people like it. But you are right; it has changed. It's changed, but I think it's made LinkedIn bigger, because it's not just a job site or where you get business. It's a little bit more than that. But
Well, and again,
I spend too much time on it. I really do. That's the problem. I do.
yeah, but again, I think you reap what you sow. If you put the hours in and you put the research in, I mean, I'm not afraid to say who, we've recently acquired a relationship with the Marriott Hotel Group.
Wow, it's big
And
time.
we're
That is.
we're now doing two of their hotels. They're an international brand, so we by no means are we going to be managing hundreds of sites up and down the country, but we're now an established service provider where we're in two key parts of London, Canary Wharf and in Mayfair, where we're really starting to make an impact, and we're tidying those sites up, and we've got the GMs now that are they're gonna be networking for me.
That's really good, because I see. I didn't think you'd be able. I thought brands like that would literally just say no. We have one company that covers the entire country. So that's a different
It's
perspective.
it
That is.
t- ti Times are changing, Sean. I think a lot of these companies now are starting to see, and it's the word that I used earlier. Where is the value lying? And a lot of our smaller companies, these bigger organizations are seeing what we're able to offer, and what's starting as a ripple is starting to cause a bit of a stir now. Because I think people are seeing the value of local companies.
It's good to hear that is, because obviously you know more than you have more relationships with these kind of bigger brands, and they can see the value in more of a smaller family business, that they can probably be relied on more than calling out another, say, big company who probably won't come
Yeah.
till next day.
Well, it's
Or
again, it's asking the questions. In certain instances, we've won a big restaurant trade, because we was able to go in 2 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock the next morning, and we had that window where we had 6 of us proofing through the night. We had everything. We had all the chairs taken out. We was able to rip out all the expanding foam that the previous company put in, and we was using metal plates and mouse stops. So it's being able to adapt to the needs of that business. We're not disrupting that business. We're working through the night. We're charging accordingly, but it's been like a chameleon. You got to adapt and understand what those clients' problems are.
Yeah, I tell you, it's been really eye-opening talking to you, because them questions I've never asked before.
And I'm still learning. Like I
survey.
say, I really hope that people aren't looking and thinking he's very cocksure of himself. It's not. I'm very confident in what I do, but like I say, you're forever learning, and no one is a bigger critic of myself than myself. I push myself all the time, and we are doing really well, but I still scrutinize my month. Every month, at the end, last day of the month, I get home and I'm like, right, what more could we have done? Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we got that? And it comes down to having that drive and hunger, and a mentor, like I said, that always checks in on me.
Yeah, it's really good to hear that even you have a mentor. So it is good to hear. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I've got a new listener in Mexico.
Very good.
There's loads more episodes to catch up on if you want to. There's loads on the channel.
Appreciate the comments. Thank you. And it just goes to show, you can reach to a wider audience and someone can relate to what you're saying, more so. And I think I really hit home on the point that, I'm not the only person. There's so many people like me that's come from absolutely nothing and has made something of themselves. And I think there's no better feeling than that. You've been given no silver spoon. Everything that you've got has been through blood, sweat and tears, being away from your wife for months because you want an opportunity to try and build a business. And I think that's what makes you more humble. When you've built it from nothing, I think that's what makes you realize that, you'd never forget the people that's helped you get to where you've got. And that's one thing I can say with pride, that I've never forgotten the people that are around me and have been around me.
Yeah, no, it's really good, because some people do, don't they? When some people get some level of success, they get big-headed, and that's it. I don't want you to know you. I'm too big time now.
I see it. I've got people around me that I won't name, but I've got people that we no longer talk and we went separate ways, and it's the shame, but they forgot where they come from. But you can't please everybody.
That's true. That is. So would you say that within a business, pest control business, that a very good looking website is a big part of trying to grow the business as well as?
Well, it's a great question, because we, as recently as 10 days ago, updated our website. We've gone a little bit more interactive. We had a professional photographer around because we celebrated our 10th team member. We had a professional. Thank you. Yeah, I actually put it on LinkedIn as well, and you talk about that. I mean, I've never, in all the years I've been on LinkedIn, I've never had more than 5 or 6 likes on things. We're up to over 110 likes, I think, so far on LinkedIn of my post of the pictures and stuff like that. So I think that really answers your question, because we paid a photographer to come and get a nice consistency in the photos, which is now on our website on the Meet the Team section. So absolutely, I think invest, and I'm not talking thousands, but by putting in an idea into your brand and using your coloration and your interactiveness, we've been quite pleased with the changes to the website that we've recently made.
Just the other day, it's looking nice, especially about me. Or we can see all the photos. It's really good.
Yeah, and again, it's trial and error, but you just want to you want people to understand your brand. I think that's the thing. If you try and muddle it up, or people look and they can't really relate to your brand, and people, I remember when I first got the green vans, people was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And people that haven't seen our vehicles, do check them out, because we've got probably the loudest color wise vehicles out there. It's bright green and blue, but it works.
It does work. It's because my My son was looking at the pictures. Who's fan today? Did he work for you, Daddy? I said, no, a different company. He says, that's a nice fan.
Thank you. Yeah, and they stand out, and we got the private plates on there as well because, again, we like to we're proud about what we do, and it has become a bit of an obsession now, really. Where we've even got private plates on the mopeds now, on the two mopeds. So it's just again, it's a continuation because going back to the whole thing about if we do potentially sell in a number of years, it all adds value because it's building a brand that is recognizable and established.
That's so true. And that's why I asked a few people about how to grow. And the main thing was website. Because if you look at my posts I make on social with the wasp on and the green and look at ever see our vans, then you jump to our website, you'll think that's completely different. And that's why I've obviously looking around and been asking different companies, but the website is on the cards. We just got to sort it out. But so I want it so it's all one brand.
There's a marry.
There's a massive disconnect if you go on our website.
No, massive. Totally. And that's something that we've really tried to sort of do with especially with TikTok as well, and I think TikTok's been a massive selling point for us as well because the amount of prospective clients that I'm able to say, look, it's all well and good me telling you what we do, but jump on our TikTok, look at the people that we've helped, look at the projects that we've undertaken at your own leisure, and you'll see why you'll see why I'm knocking on your door because this is how we can help you.
Exactly. You can show them, you can say, or you need to put more stuff on your YouTube. You don't really put much on there now, do you? You don't put that much on there.
I've posted a little bit, but it's probably my weakest point on YouTube because I'm really pushing.
TikTok is the how to put it. A lot of young people go on TikTok, but they use it like Google. That's how they use it. So they do. They say they want a plumber. They kind of type their area in, or say they want a pest controller. And I'm not saying all they all do, but a lot of young people like to look on TikTok and see if they like their videos. And then they go, oh, I'll get them in then. But that's what they say, the experts. They use it like Google.
Yeah, TikTok. Exactly. And I think it's just trying to stay relevant. I mean, I have people I've had loads of work through TikTok where I've had people messaging me, little domestic jobs and little shops and stuff like that. So, and again, it's just making yourself relevant. You want, if people are thinking about pest control in London, what I want them to be doing is thinking about the green machines, because that's what we refer them to. So it's just trying to be relevant at the time and to people, really, and having that like I say, I've said it multiple times in this podcast, is people seeing that we're having fun along the way as well.
No, that's true, and you can see that whenever you film videos, it's all apparent. It's not fake. You can see it's real.
Yeah.
You can. But you made that. I still think about that. I'm gonna go and watch that one after, where you go catastrophic. I think.
Yeah, that was a cool video, actually. That was a very cool video, and we enjoy making them. We enjoy putting them together and putting them out there for people to see.
No, that's really good. But your business, how does it, do you have office staff where, if someone's got a domestic, they ring the office and they book through that, and then do you have tablets with all your texts with what jobs they're doing each day? Is that
exactly that? So we've got a really good setup behind the scenes. So Dawn, who's my mother-in-law, she looks after the my team, my service consultants. Nice. I've got a PA called Siobhan. She commented earlier, who called Holly the boss, so she's probably going to be unemployed tomorrow. And then and it works. And then we've got Holly that kind of she overviews everything at sort of like the back of house. So it allows me to propel the business in a sense of getting in front of potential new clients, but going to see my existing clients and doing the surveys and stuff. So it's a really good balance. We use a reporting app, so all the guys have got their jobs. Because we've got 2 field-based female operatives, it's worth adding. That's also what makes us quite unique.
I suppose from a client's perspective, if you've got, say, I'm not like, does that, when you like, even in domestic situations, when they're going to a female, does that make them feel better because they know they've got a female
Massively.
tech coming?
Massively. I mean, we actually do a lot of work for local councils, and in those
Okay.
areas, we deal with a lot of mother and baby units.
Oh, I
So
see. Okay.
what makes it quite unique at times is that we're able to offer a female operative. There's certain circumstances that allow us to really push the emphasis that we've got female operatives, that makes it a little bit more comfortable.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, and again, I think from the business, the our business is predominantly dominated by women. With the exception of myself in my position,
Yeah.
there's Siobhan, there's Dawn, there's Amy, and there's Cynthia. So I think that's what really strikes a good balance, in the sense that, the females, they have fun, but they can see the seriousness of what we're doing, and it's a good balance, because there's always good banter. I don't think I've ever had to
Yeah.
get involved where there's been sort of outspoken remarks about anything, and I
Okay.
think it's what keeps us in check. I'll
That's
say
good.
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, it's really good, because I have heard on, obviously I listen to a lot of other podcasts, and with females on, and they've said that the customers feel much better sometimes when there's a
Yeah,
female technician coming out.
it does happen, and
Yeah.
it could be religious reasons, it could be,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be mental health issues where, they've had bad. But again, I think that's where, going back to your original question about
Yeah.
having that comfort, having that person in Siobhan or Dawn or Holly that answers the phone,
Yeah.
it's having that kind of that personalized relationship with them straight away, and establishing the needs. What is it you're looking for? I understand that you're calling us because you've got a problem. What are your requirements? We're able to say, look, do you have a preference on whether it's male or female?
Okay.
Would you like a branded vehicle turning up? Would you like an unbranded vehicle turning up? So I think it's
Okay.
by having that choice to offer our clients, we call it it's an alternative close, because rather than saying, yeah, we'll have one of the vans and one of the guys with you, we're able to say, well, look, would you like male or female? Would you like a vehicle? Would you like a moped? We're able to offer choices that gives an alternative close in the selling world. It's an alternative close, so that's where we're able to hang on and convert a lot of our inquiries.
That's good to hear. And what's say? How do you uh, how do you say her name? Sorry,
Siobhan.
Siobhan has
Yeah,
been out with
Siobhan.
you on surveys, so that's good, because they get to see a perspective of how surveys are done. Have they all been out on routine visits to see how it's done on the ground?
Oh yeah. I mean,
That's good.
I'm probably one of the most OCD people. Whether you agree or not, I believe that your external bait stations are the first representation of your business. And my team know that my metal bait stations have to be absolutely on point. They need to
Okay.
look shiny. I've had people, and this is the gospel truth. I've
Yeah.
had people that have been visiting London, and I've had them private message me. There was one gentleman, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was visiting Harrods, and we do a little site opposite Harrods, and he said to me, of all bait boxes that I see when I venture into London, Porter, it's yours, and my God, are they looking on point? Because, my guys know that there's no again, I go back to the thing about people agreeing that sometimes boxes should be a little bit dirty or whatnot, but
Yeah.
externally, the lids of our bait boxes, they have to look pristine, because for me, that's a representation of our brand.
Yeah. Was he from America, this guy?
No, he was from up north. He was down in
Oh,
London. He was literally away, and he messaged me with a picture of the bait boxes, and he literally was like, of all the companies that I see when I'm visiting London and up near Harrods, I bloody see yours, and your boxes are on point. And I showed that to my teammate that actually looked after that site, and I said to him,
yeah.
this is why I'm so
Yeah.
OCD, because whether it's a competitor or someone, people are always looking.
Yeah. They are. They are. They are always looking. But that's a pretty cool thing for feedback. That is.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah,
a good.
and
It's a
it's
good
nice
case, and
because
it's a
people
good.
are always looking.
It's a good point proven. It is.
Massively.
But yeah, there's been loads of talk in the chat. It's the most popular chat ever, Mark. Well done for bringing the people.
Well, I like to set a bar, you know. So hopefully, whoever's next on, they can do the same.
Pressure's on. Yes. I can't remember who's on next. I have to look on my phone. I'm that far.
Yeah,
I never
but no,
remember.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it being on, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I know you're a busy guy. You're out driving your Lamborghini at night time, I know, but you've come on the podcast.
Nah, and hopefully, hopefully people can take a bit of positive from it, and if I can help someone else out there with any of the bits that I've done, then it's been worth the time coming on, you know. And like I say, I don't pretend to be the best, but I strive to be the best. There's no doubt about that.
It's definitely, I've definitely learned something because I've taken notes. Because next time I go around somewhere, I'll be asking them questions.
And let me know, message me and let me know, right? Let me know, because you will be flabbergasted to actually see someone on the spot. They'll almost look at you and think, what you want to know? What you want to know? I want. I bloody want someone that can do this, or I want. And then you can say, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. I can come on a Saturday morning if that's really what ticks your. If that's what's really going to help me win this business, then then consider that done. What else? And then before you know it, by the end of it, you'll say, look, I'll get everything over. I know what you need. We can deliver it. I'll have that quote with you. I'm looking forward to you signing it off.
Yeah, that'd be good. They want Holly to come on camera to say hello.
Okay, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get her down. Holly, quick! You need to come down. She's coming down, guys and girls.
She's coming down.
She's coming. I'm gonna get her to come and sit next to me. Hold on. Who made that comment? That's brilliant.
It was there. I'll leave it on.
Anna. Okay, Anna. I'm gonna get the big boss here. Right, come and say hello. Come on.
Look at it.
Oh, shush. Come and sit down. Anna has basically said they want to see the big boss. So this is Holly, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on.
It's okay.
So you enjoy the pest control industry, then?
I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
You
It's all right.
You don't have to say a lot. You're all right. I know you're a bit nervous about podcasts. It's all right. They wanted you to come on. They did.
Yeah, look, Anna's asked a question. Get Holly to come on and say hello and introduce herself. So she's the big boss from PPC.
To be fair, I was upstairs doing work.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I was invoicing right now.
Fair. That's fair enough. That is.
But do you want to just, I know you're a bit shy, but do you just want to, for the people that's watching, give your insight as to how it is for you, not only being a mum, an amazing mum, but from a business perspective of how we operate really, and what makes, how it works.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
It is hard work, but teamwork is the most important thing, I think. Not just from you, from our other 8 employees.
Oh, Siobhan, the real boss. Let.
Yeah, no, it is hard work, but it's worth it.
That's good to hear. That is. It's. We need more opinions from women within the industry. We do. I like to hear it. Yeah.
I mean, I work from behind the computer screen. I'm very compassionate with people that call and are actually of rodents.
That's what
I
we was talking about.
Can 100% get it. I would never, ever, ever catch me anywhere near a mouse or a rat. Absolutely not. No.
But again, I think that goes back to what we just said, Shaun, about having someone at the end of the phone that is compassionate and understanding, and not just asking for actually saying, oh my God, look, we understand that you've got a problem, and this is how we can help. We was talking about having female operatives out there as well.
I mean, yeah, we've got my sister, and I say to her all the time, you're better than I am, because I couldn't do it. She called me one day last week on FaceTime and was literally getting so excited at the fact that she was standing like a meter away from a rat and running here, there, and I was like, oh no, I would scream and run.
Right, Mark. Doesn't Mark try and drag you out on site then? No,
it's not gonna happen.
No, she's busy with the 3 kids that we've got. Who's that? Anna, behind a great businessman is every great. Anna, I absolutely concur that with you. I think I definitely concur that. And as much as we laugh and joke, I wouldn't be where I would be today without Holly, because we've had some real roller coasters, but
Yeah.
you believed in me ultimately, didn't you?
Mhm.
And I think that's what it is, because without the belief of the most important person beside you, then there's nothing really.
Yeah,
See,
no,
you're doing all right now
it's
that
true.
you've come down.
Yeah.
Listening to the
It's-
customer, as she's put, that's why someone's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Siobhan puts up with a lot of. Siobhan's almost like the first port of call for people, so she's often at the
forefront
the
of everything.
forefront of it. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain freeze there.
Do you ever get angry customers being nasty down the phone? Do you ever get
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you
tell the
deal with
story
that?
what
Do you kill them with kindness?
Holly
Is that
will
what you
tell
do?
you. Holly will tell you a
What
quick
about
story.
Luna?
This was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just had Luna. She was probably no more than a week old,
Yeah.
and I was back to work because obviously at the time it was just.
It was just me and you.
No, I think Mum was on board as well, but anyways,
Yeah.
I was still trying to do as what I could where Mark's diary was concerned and stuff like that. So I was back
Okay.
quite quickly after I had her, and this one guy called. And he happened to just say, every time I speak to you, your kid is crying in the background. And I was a bit like,
Well,
hold on a second. I was like, but I'm still helping you. I'm still trying to help you. And I
exactly.
remember calling Mark like in absolute tears. I was like, I can't do this. She's crying. I've got the phone ringing. I'm trying to help. And yeah, it's just sometimes you do get it. And I'm like, look, I'm here trying to answer you. I've not ignored your call. I've answered the call. I've come out of the room even because she is crying, you know.
Exactly.
So that is quite hard. And you have to, in all of that, you have to remain professional.
Yeah. No, it's so obviously you killed them with kindness. Yeah, you're just really nice.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I told him to do one on that occasion because he overstepped the mark massively.
It is really. Yeah.
And you know, we're generally very professional because we do get tenants and clients that are upset, and you just got to. We bite our tongue all the time, but he overstepped the mark. That was my wife he was talking to, and he made her cry. So I weren't gonna have anyone. No money compensates to talk to my wife like that. So he was politely told to go and find somewhere else, to say the least.
Yeah, no, it's you gotta like. Was this obvious? Was this quite a few years ago, or was this?
Yeah, so Luna's 6 now. So this was 6 years ago.
I still don't see a problem really hearing a kid in the background. People have families, don't they? I don't.
Yeah, and you know we've always we've always said that, you know, we are family. We're a family-owned company. We've got kids, and
even half terms and stuff. If they're at home and I have to call someone, I'm look, just to let you know, I am working from home and I've got 3 kids, so you may hear a bit of screaming and shouting in the background. Most people are okay. They're like, look, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
everyone's used to it. Everyone's used to it now, aren't they?
Especially, I think, from COVID, because a lot of people do work from home nowadays.
They do. It's great. I think it's great. I do. They all work from home, and they can let you know when they're going to be in. Usually,
Holly works from the nail shop, Shaun.
They're worth it though.
Yeah.
My nails are worth it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad that she's come on. It's because like Anna said, and it really is true. A successful business is built on really good relationships at home as well. And you know, I can sometimes be a real pain to live with because I am very driven. But Holly often has to look beyond that and think, you know, I'm doing it for my family and I'm doing it for our brand as well.
It's true. It's
Which
true.
you do, don't you? Don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, sometimes I want to lock him in the cupboard, but it's okay.
Yeah. He's a good bloke you got there, Marcus.
Keep going, Shaun.
Yeah, keep going. I was going to cut a promo on you. I can't think of it to say, actually. But yeah, no, it's been good to have you on.
No, likewise. Thanks for having us, and thanks to everyone who's tuned in and watched it. And like I say, I've already had a follower on my Instagram page. I think it was the gentleman from New Mexico. He's just given my Instagram page my business page. So it just goes to show, you know, you're making an impression and friends with people for having the courage to come on platforms like this. So massive kudos to you, Shaun, I think, for giving not, I mean, I'm quite confident, but you know, for giving people a window to put themselves out there for others to look at as well.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. People have called me all sorts before online, but I've got used to it. It very rarely happens anymore. But yeah,
Good. We've had conversations about that, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. It's their own insecurities, really. It is.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see on the podcast next, Mark? If you could get anyone on, any ideas?
I actually there's a name that I've forgot to mention, and he's done so well for himself since leaving Prokill, is Timothy Peeling. We all know him as Tim Peeling. He works at ENVU now. Tim's rapidly grown through the industry since leaving Prokill. He's really done well for himself. So I'd like to maybe hear from Tim actually, to sort of talk about his growth within the industry and the different roles that he's obtained, and to give feedback, you know, because Tim's worked with a load of us and seen our developments and whatnot. So it'd be good to get his perspective on things. So yeah, Timothy Peeling, I think I'd be shouting out if I was to call anyone out.
Yeah, I will look him up. I will look him up.
Yeah, look him up.
I will, but yeah. Thanks for coming on, Mark, and thanks
Absolute
everyone
pleasure.
for watching. And I don't know how anyone's going to top this chat. I really don't know. It's the most watched podcast so far, I reckon, live. I've never had this much chat. It's cool.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you, and and thank you. Hey,
thanks for coming on. Thanks for letting Mark come on the podcast. Because
you've kept him out of my hair for an hour and a half.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, thanks everyone, and
thank you.
See you on the next podcast. But thanks, Mark. I'll just end the stream now.
See you later, buddy.
See you later, mate. Cheers.